Hi, it's Simon, and today was going to be a video about Freedom Friday, about the freedom we have and gradually we can have for that, and how we can help others have the same. Then I had a phone call, and that phone call had me think differently. And I've actually been wondering what to share and how to share, because I do think being transparent is important, being able to be who we are without sort of the smiley makeup side of it all the time. Life can be challenging and life can be hard. As I come outside now, the rhododendron bush behind me, I'm not sure if you can see if I pan down, the wrong way, there we go. All these flowers have fallen, petals have come off. And so what a few months ago was this gorgeous, amazing, blossoming tree, it's changed. And we do have cycles and seasons. It's still summertime here, so I dip my head. It's still the cycles and seasons of life. The sunshine has dipped for a bit, it's not quite as hot as it was. And in a few months it'll be autumn and winter. We know that about life, the cycles and seasons we go through. And yet sometimes things can seem unfair, not good, not right. And the phone call I had today was one of those. Somebody in America I've known for a while. She's had an experience that I'm really not okay with. And I don't mean that because it wasn't fair for her, I just mean it's an experience I think anybody would say was not okay. And being with it, and able that she could share that with me, said a lot about our connection, our relationship we've had over the years. And it also brought home for me how often the things we need to share, we may not have the very person we need to share it to. We may be scared to go to the authorities, the police, the advisors, the teachers, the trainers. They may be the very people who are creating that environment that we are concerned about. Now, this doesn't relate to some of the bigger riots happening in the States. This is something very much more personal, and the kind of thing that unfortunately happened for thousands of years. And I'm being with, despite all the work I've done now since 2000 and before, these things still go on in the world. Now, what can we do to shift that? I'm not talking about the depth and detail, her life is her life, but I think you can allude to it, you can guess. Maybe you can imagine, if you can, and if you can't, that's okay, but just imagine some bad things happening in the world that you'd rather didn't. And the fact that there's more than one thing on that list, I think, sums up the point. So sometimes it requires a shift in our commitment for ourselves to speak up, to act. A willingness to put not just our thoughts and our mouths on the line, but our money, our time, our energy, our resources. Sometimes it isn't that at all. It isn't about more money, more people. It isn't about that. It's something different. And that difference might be invisible for us. Some would call it our consciousness, our creativity, our collaboration, our empathy. I think there's something going on at the moment, and whether you believe in these sort of lunar cycles, there's an eclipse here today in June 2020, whether you believe in the cycles of nature, I hope that there is a metamorphosis happening. There's something happening for who we are as people, individuals, and collectively. And I was blown away by one of the phone calls I've had just now with somebody who I've known for over a decade, and seeing how we have these experiences that go back quite a long way now. Now, some of those experiences you could predict. He's been in the UK, he's been working with authors, and like this bumblebee going in to this foxglove here, often you don't see the work until they come out. Now, that's often how it's been when you're behind the scenes, when you're doing marketing, strategy, investment, connections, joint ventures. You'll be behind the scenes on projects, and people might not know who you know and what you've been doing. They might see the front person, the star of the performance, and that's okay. If you think about the greatest TV, music and movies of our lifetime, the stars are who we remember. Very few people know who was the second wardrobe lady, who was the prop master, who was the field of operations person, who was the insurance accountant. These things get forgotten often in life. And so when I come out here today and walk around a bit, I'm present to that. I'm present to how much of life varies. And just a few meters walking, it's a whole different perspective. Altering the camera lens alters what we see. And so just because somebody isn't saying something, they're not sharing a message, they're not telling you something, it doesn't mean they don't trust you. It doesn't mean they don't care about you. It may be they don't feel safe to share that in that moment. They may have an assumption about what you can handle, how busy you are, your priorities, your focus. Now, I am walking around today. I'm making a point of walking around because we get to change who we are. We get to change where we are, but we take those steps. And I think the first bit is knowing that we can do that, knowing we can say, I'm enough and it is enough, and deciding to make that change, choosing to make that change. But it can be scary, and it can feel like you might go, I want to leave that house, go to a new house. How? Where? And not knowing where else to be. How to make that can take a lot. And that gap between the comfort of where we are and the possibilities for the future, it can be really quite daunting. Imagine trying to create a bridge over the biggest ocean. It's not something that one person can do in a day. Unless you have different skills, tools and masteries than I have today, maybe you do. And clearly, as a society, as a culture on the planet today, there are a large number of people dealing with challenges, some of those going back thousands and thousands of years. But I hope in the near term we can find a way to come together to share our solutions. We can find a way to really upgrade what it means to be human, the basic requirements that we say are non-negotiable, and to do that from a whole different perspective, not right, wrong, not carrot, stick, not, this is the law according to so and so, but finding a different ways to be, because I really think there is a sharedness, a similarity that we have. The rain's beginning to come down now, and they talk about the rain washing away things. So as we wash away the week, as we go into a weekend, as my friend said, for every entrepreneur out there, for every person on their life's journey, every day is really Monday, and every day can be a Sunday or a Friday too. You get to choose how you are and get to choose what you focus on. And I'm thinking about my friend who's had the challenges she's had this week and how to support her and people like her around the world, and things I've been through myself in the past. But more than that, I think if we can listen, if we can learn and really start to be mature in who we are, we could make a difference this year, this decade, and that I think would be worth it. So bye for now. I want you having an amazing weekend, celebrating the future and doing the work one conversation and one action at a time. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.